Imagine if you had a crystal ball that could predict the future of our economy. Would you trust it implicitly? This is essentially what the Federal Reserve's economic forecasts aim to do. They provide us with an estimation of future economic conditions based on key indicators like economic growth, inflation, unemployment, and interest rates. But as with any prediction, there's a degree of uncertainty involved. So, the provocative question we need to ask is, how reliable is this crystal ball really? Let's find out. To understand the reliability of these forecasts, we first need to comprehend how they are made. The Federal Reserve, or the Fed as it's commonly known, employs a comprehensive procedure to formulate its economic forecasts. This methodology involves a careful analysis of key economic indicators that provide insights into the health and future direction of the economy. Firstly, the Fed scrutinizes the rate of economic growth, often expressed as the gross domestic product or GDP. This measure reflects the total value of all goods and services produced in an economy over a specified period. By tracking the GDP, the Fed can gauge whether the economy is expanding or contracting, which influences their policy decisions. Next on the list is inflation. This economic indicator measures the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising. The Fed closely monitors inflation rates because excessive inflation can erode purchasing power and destabilize the economy. Conversely, too low inflation or deflation can lead to decreased economic activity. The Fed also takes into account the unemployment rate. This is the percentage of the labor force that is jobless and actively seeking employment. High unemployment rates can signal an underperforming economy, while low rates might indicate economic prosperity. And lastly, the Fed considers interest rates. These are vital tools in the Fed's toolkit, as they can stimulate economic growth or curb inflation. Lower interest rates can encourage borrowing and investing, while higher rates can slow down the economy to prevent it from overheating. Now, armed with this information, the Fed generates its economic forecasts. These forecasts, in turn, shape the Fed's monetary policy decisions, like whether to raise, lower, or maintain interest rates. These decisions can have significant implications for the economy at large, affecting everything from the prices we pay for goods and services to the rates we get on savings and loans. But remember, these are forecasts, not guarantees. They are educated guesses based on the available data and trends at the time. While the Fed's forecasts are typically well-founded and reliable, they are not infallible and can sometimes miss the mark due to unexpected changes in economic conditions. As we all know, the future is uncertain. The same principle applies to economic forecasts. Even though the Federal Reserve uses the best data available at the time, there's no guarantee all predictions will come to pass. This uncertainty is due to a myriad of factors that can influence the economy. Let's consider a few. The first is the unexpected changes in economic conditions. The economy is not a static entity. It's dynamic, ever-changing, and influenced by countless variables. A sudden shift in policy, a new technological innovation, or a global event can all have significant impacts on the economy. These changes can occur without warning, making it challenging for the Fed to factor them into their forecasts accurately. Another factor is the inherent complexity of the economy itself. The economy is a complex system made up of numerous interconnected elements. Trying to predict the behavior of such a system is a daunting task, even for the most experienced economists. The interplay between these various elements can lead to outcomes that are not immediately apparent, adding another layer of uncertainty to the forecasts. Then there's the issue of data limitations. While the Fed has access to a wealth of data, there's always more that isn't known or isn't being measured. The data used in economic forecasting is also often revised after the fact, as more accurate information becomes available. This can lead to changes in the forecasts, further highlighting the uncertainty involved. Finally, there's the human element. The Fed's forecasts are not just the product of complex mathematical models, they're also influenced by the judgment and intuition of the economists involved. And as we all know, humans can make mistakes, have biases, or change their minds, all of which can lead to inaccuracies in the forecasts. So while the Fed's economic forecasts are a valuable tool for understanding the likely direction of the economy, they are not crystal balls. They are best used as guides, not gospel. The future remains uncertain and the economy will always have a few surprises in store. While the Fed's forecasts are made using the best data available, there's always room for error. So the next time you hear about the Fed's latest economic forecast, remember to take it with a grain of salt. The future, after all, is always full of surprises. So, what are the factors that can influence the accuracy of these forecasts? Let's take a moment to unpack this. The accuracy of the Federal Reserve's economic forecasts is contingent on a multitude of factors, all interconnected in the intricate web of the economic ecosystem. On the domestic front, the Fed's forecasts are influenced by factors such as GDP growth, inflation, and unemployment rates. For instance, the GDP growth rate can be affected by changes in consumer spending, government policies, and the level of business investment. These changes, in turn, can influence the Fed's forecasts for future economic growth. Similarly, inflation and unemployment rates can also impact the accuracy of the Fed's economic forecasts. Fluctuations in these rates can be triggered by various factors, from wage growth and productivity to changes in the labor market. Now let's turn our gaze to the international stage. Global economic trends and geopolitical events can have a significant impact on the Fed's forecasting abilities. For example, changes in global trade policies, economic crises in other countries, and international political events can all impact the U.S. economy, influencing the Fed's forecasts. Furthermore, the accuracy of the Fed's forecasts can also be influenced by unexpected events or shocks. These could range from natural disasters and pandemics to sudden changes in oil prices or major technological breakthroughs. Such events can cause significant deviations from the projected economic trends, making the forecasts less accurate. It's also worth noting that the Federal Reserve's own policy decisions can influence the accuracy of its forecasts. Changes in interest rates or monetary policy can affect various aspects of the economy, from consumer spending to business investment, thereby influencing future economic trends and, in turn, the accuracy of the Fed's forecasts. In sum, the accuracy of the Federal Reserve's economic forecasts is influenced by a complex interplay of various domestic and international factors. These factors play a crucial role in shaping the economy, and subsequently, the accuracy of the Fed's forecasts. Now that we have a grasp of what influences these forecasts, let's reveal the truth behind them. Economic forecasting is a complex science, an intricate dance of data, trends, and educated guesses. The Federal Reserve, tasked with keeping the economy balanced, uses these forecasts as a guide. But remember, these are just that, guides. They are not crystal balls revealing an unchangeable future. The reality is the economy is a dynamic beast, influenced by a myriad of factors, both domestic and international. Changes in government policy, shifts in consumer behavior, global events. All can send ripples through the economic pond, altering its course. And that's why the Fed's forecast should be approached with caution. The Fed uses the best tools available, sophisticated models, expert analysis, and mountains of data. Yet even with these resources, the forecasts are not always spot on. Why? Because the economy is not a machine that can be programmed and controlled. It's a living, breathing entity impacted by human behavior, decision-making, and unexpected events. For example, if a sudden technological breakthrough occurs, it could spur economic growth beyond the Fed's prediction. On the other hand, a global crisis could slow down the economy, making the forecasted growth rate seem overly optimistic. So, while the Fed's economic forecasts are a valuable tool, they are not foolproof. They provide an educated guess of the future, but they can't predict it with certainty. That's why it's essential to approach them with a healthy dose of skepticism, understanding that they are one piece of the larger economic puzzle. We should see these forecasts as navigational aids rather than a roadmap. They can help guide us, but they can't predict every twist and turn in the road. We should use them to inform our decisions, but not let them dictate our actions. So as we navigate through the economic landscape, it's crucial to keep in mind these inherent limitations and uncertainties. Remember, while these forecasts can provide us with an economic outlook, they are not definitive. Understanding the truth behind these forecasts is particularly important for investors. Investors, big or small, rely heavily on these economic forecasts to make critical decisions about their investments. They use these predictions to anticipate the market's direction and adjust their investment strategies accordingly. If the forecasts are accurate, they can guide investors to profitable decisions. However, when these predictions miss the mark, they can lead investors down a path of financial uncertainty. Let's take a closer look at how inaccuracies in the Fed's forecasts could impact investors. Suppose the Fed predicts a steady economic growth and low inflation for the next few years. Encouraged by this positive outlook, investors might decide to invest in riskier assets, expecting higher returns. However, if the actual economic conditions turn out to be less rosy, with slower growth and higher inflation, these investments could underperform, and investors could suffer significant losses. On the flip side, if the Fed forecasts a downturn that never materializes, investors who move their assets into safer, low-yield investments could miss out on potential profits from high-yielding investments. These examples illustrate the potential consequences of relying too heavily on the Fed's economic forecasts. While these predictions provide valuable insights into the Fed's view of the economy's future, they are not infallible. Economic forecasting is a complex process fraught with uncertainty. Unanticipated events, both domestic and international, can derail even the most carefully crafted forecasts. So, what does this mean for investors? It means that while the Fed's economic forecasts are a useful tool, they should not be the sole basis for investment decisions. Investors should supplement these forecasts with other sources of information and their own analysis. They should also be prepared to adjust their investment strategies as new economic data becomes available. In conclusion, as we peel back the layers and uncover the truth behind the Fed's economic forecasts, it becomes clear that these predictions are not a crystal ball. They are a guide, a tool to be used in conjunction with other resources. As an investor, it's crucial to approach these forecasts with a critical eye. The future of your investments may depend on it. So, what have we uncovered today about the Fed's economic forecasts? Well, we've delved into the intricate world of economic forecasting and specifically the role the Federal Reserve plays in shaping our understanding of the future economic landscape. We've learned that while the Fed's forecasts are indeed based on the best available data and economic trends, they are not set in stone. Like any forecast, they are educated guesses that can sometimes miss the mark. We've explored the key economic indicators that the Fed takes into account while formulating its forecasts: economic growth, inflation, unemployment, and interest rates. These indicators are critical for shaping the monetary policy decisions of the Federal Reserve and, in turn, have a significant impact on the economy as a whole. But we've also learned that these forecasts are not foolproof. There are numerous domestic and international factors at play that can influence the accuracy of the Fed's predictions. Understanding these complexities is crucial for anyone looking to navigate the financial markets and make informed investment decisions. We've also shed light on the fact that the Federal Reserve's economic forecasts are more than just numbers on a page. They are a reflection of the Fed's decision-making process, its policy stance, and its perception of the economy's health. Thus, they are a tool for transparency, allowing us to peek into the Fed's thinking and approach. However, as we've seen, it's important to approach these forecasts with a degree of caution. They are not a guarantee of what will happen, but rather a projection of what could happen based on the current scenario. Changes in economic conditions, policy shifts, and unexpected events can all alter the course of the economy, leading to discrepancies between the forecasts and the actual outcomes. So, with this newfound understanding, we can better appreciate the nuances of the Federal Reserve's economic forecasts and the factors that may influence their accuracy. Knowledge is power, and this power can help us make more informed decisions, whether we're economists, investors, or simply curious individuals keen on understanding the world of economics. Let's continue to explore the fascinating world of economics together. This journey has only just begun, and there's so much more to uncover and understand. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insightful content. Together, we can delve deeper into the complexities of economic forecasting and unravel the truth behind the numbers.